right, good morning and hello everybody. Thank you for joining us with the NBDA Super Webinar Series. We are happy to have you. And people are just trickling in here, but I'm going to introduce our presenter, one of our presenters today. We have the team from Locally here, and we are really happy to have Teddy Schiavone with us. So go ahead, Teddy. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Rochelle. I appreciate it. Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for joining today. We're really happy to have you here. We appreciate your attention and looking forward to doing a little QA with you at the end if anyone does have any questions. I want to start out by introducing myself and Locally, who we are and what we do. So for those who are not familiar with Locally, we are an online to offline search engine. Essentially what we do is we connect inventory for dealers where we can show their stock on brand websites. So when a shopper is on, for example, a product page for a brand site, just as they might have an add to cart option on that site, Locally is showing retailer inventory. We also power the store locators for brands. And so on those store locators, when a shopper finds your location, you have the ability to show your stock along with your profile on a store locator. And then we index all of the inventory from the connected retailers on locally.com. Somewhat of a marketplace in the fact that shoppers can find locally.com and they can engage with your stores through locally.com. But probably more important is the fact that we index all of the inventories on Locally, and so we make it easy for shoppers to discover your inventory at the local level. And I'll show you an example of that in a Google search. In addition to all of that, it's important that you realize that participating with Locally is free. You can claim your profile. Once you claim your profile, that profile will present across a number of brand websites. You can connect your stock, as I said before, that's free. We have over 40 different POS systems that we're integrated with, and once you've connected your inventory to Locally, you only have to connect one time and we can present your inventory in hundreds of brand sites, tens of thousands of product pages with that one connection. And then you have the ability to collect transactions. And so when a shopper does find the inventory at your store through the Locally tools, they can click and they can transact with you. We enable reserve online, buy online, same day delivery. Also important to note, one thing that we do not enable shipping. So everything that we do is really about driving shoppers into your stores where you're really best equipped to handle them and upsell them. So that's sort of the overview of Locally, who we are and what it is we do. We have a few team members here from Locally. Tom Whelan's on the call with us here today to answer any questions. Callista Tefangshin, Chris Howe. If we have retailers with questions, Tom is best equipped for that. He heads up our retailer activation, and he'll be able to help with that. So, and then lastly, I just want to let you know that Locally was founded by a group of retailers. I think it's important to make that point to everybody here. We understand the dynamics of specialty retail. Chris, who's on the call here, was a specialty retailer in outdoor for decades. I owned specialty ski and snowboard shops for decades. Our founders are actually still in specialty retail. So you'll find when you participate with Locally that we have a pretty keen sense of how to keep things easy for you, how to make it easy to participate, how to keep it simple. And allow you to go about your business and really just power these tools to send shoppers to you with the least amount of lift on your end. So so without further ado here, I'm going to kill my camera and I'm going to go over to a screen share and do an overview and kind of walk you guys through some things. Actually, Rochelle, I'm gonna need screen sharing permission, please.
You should be all good.
Excellent, thank you. Okay. All right, so What I've done here is I've teed up the dealer locator for Shimano, figuring that this is relevant for our audience here today. As I mentioned earlier, Locally does power up store locators for several hundred brands around the world. Locally manages our own CRM. So within that database, any retailer who exists only needs to claim their profile with us one time, and they only need to connect their inventory with us one time. So again, trying to keep it simple for everybody. Here on the Shimano bike dealer locator, we always auto detect the address, IP address of a user. And so we always call up the nearest locations for a shopper. They don't have to input their cities, states, or anything like that. I happen to set my location deliberately here at Great Falls, Montana, because I spotted that we have a retailer here who's participating at a pretty high level with Locally, and I wanted to show you the ability for all the tools and how this works. So on the Shimano store locator, shopper could choose my location. If I were to do that, it would pull back east, so I'm going to leave it as is. Also, shopper has the ability to click a button and see all the inventory that's available nearby them. So if a shopper were just looking at a particular brand store locator and they say, hey, I just want to see what I can get from this brand nearby, this is where you would find that. You could click the in stock button. And if a shopper were to click on a product, it will then show the retailers who have the inventory in stock right now. There is a certain biasing that goes on with Locally. We do bias retailers to the top of searches. Of course, location, proximity is very relevant. However, if we have retailers that are sharing stock, that are accepting transactions, we do bias those ahead because we know that shoppers are looking for inventory nearby today. So going back to the main screen here, I can see there are a couple of locations. Here I have Bighorn Outdoor Specialists in there participating and see what's in stock. They have same-day local delivery enabled through Locally, which is another free service from us. The shopper just pays for the delivery service. And then there's in-store pickup available. So if I were to click here on Bighorn Outdoor, you can see that they've claimed their Locally profile. They've added their logo here. They've added links to social media, website, and such. We have their store hours in here. And then, of course, we have browse stock. On your profile, shoppers can also review the store. You can see they have 3 5-star reviews as a location. That's great. And we're showing that they're open in their hours. So one profile from each retailer will carry across hundreds of brand sites, thousands of pages. If I were to click browse stock, pardon me, we can see here inventory from Shimano that's available at Bighorn Outfitters. So the way that this works, and again, I said that Locally does everything to keep things simplified for the retailer. The brand will provide us with the catalog information, and we build that catalog into Locally, and then we connect your inventory. And the only thing that your inventory is really sending us is the UPC codes and the quantity on hand. We're not looking at your sales data here. We're not seeing who your shoppers are. You're literally just sending us a daily or multiple times per day, depending on the POS system. You're sending us a file with quantity on hand, UPC, and you have the ability to send us your in-store price too. If you're using Locally's tools as your own solution, which you can do, then in-store price becomes relevant. Here we're on a brand site. We're showing MSRP. We have various products that are in stock and available. Again, Locally's powering the catalog information. We're looking directly at Bighorn Outdoor. And you can see here, if we click on this product page, we have same-day local delivery available. We have buy now, pick up at store available, and we have reserve online, pay in store available. So I want to point out again that there are 3 steps in the process for a retailer to participate. Number 1, claiming your profile, logo, social media links and such, free. Connecting, so claim connect your inventory, that's free. Your inventory can show across multiple brand sites, locally.com, and then collecting transactions from shoppers. And that's what we're seeing here with these purchase options. It's still free to enroll in connecting at this point. Really what we're, all that we're doing is in terms of accepting transactions and such is like a referral fee. It's 3.5% as a referral fee, and that's only on transactions that are confirmed. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click here on Buy Now, Pick Up in Store. You'll see that this little drawer will open up on the side and locally drops things into the shopping cart. And then there's the ability to message directly to the store here. As a retailer, we know you're busy. We know that there are certain forms of communication that work well for you, and we understand that there are times when maybe it doesn't work well for you. When you claim and you connect with Locally, you have the ability to have this messaging sent to you via text message, email messaging. You can have multiple users, different times of day, to different people, whatever is convenient for you and how you operate your business. I think it's important that we do that because there are services out there where you might get blasted with emails, multiple emails all day long, and maybe you don't have time to respond to them until the end of the day, and you might miss opportunities. With Locally, we're only sending you customers who are looking specifically for an item that you do have in stock, and then you have X amount of time to respond to them. So it's not like there's a lot of white noise here, and you're not really competing with other retailers for the order. This is a shopper who wants the product from you. So if I were to jump into continue here, you can see here, continue to checkout. In this case, each retailer has claimed their own profile and connected. They're collecting transactions, and with that, you have your own account with Stripe. You get paid directly through Stripe as though the shopper were right there in your store. So you just get paid directly to your own account. And if I were to continue to check out from here, basically it's just going to open up a Stripe page. Sorry, my computer is being a little bit slow. And that's where I would have the ability to basically enter credit card information, my own information, so on and so forth. And the order would be sent to the retailer to confirm. Okay. So I just walked you through a lot from store locator right into going into transactions. I mentioned earlier that along with showing up on these maps on store locators, Locally also is indexing the inventory on locally.com, and that we set that up so that retailers' inventory can show in search engines as well. So I'm going to show you what that looks like over here. So here we are on locally.com. I was on Locally before the presentation here, and I just typed in Shimano. I did a search for Shimano, Shop Shimano in Great Falls, Montana. And then with that, it called up any products that were by Shimano. And so I'm getting both fishing equipment and I'm getting bike equipment here. I could, as a shopper, I could select different local stores. You can see that there are several different stores. It could be, again, bike or fishing. And then if I wanted to, for example, click into any one of these products, I would see, here that Bighorn Outfitters has this item in stock. I can see that Scheels has other Shimano items in stock. So if I wanted this particular pedal, I could get it from here. So that's locally.com as a search looking for Shimano. So this is a brand search that goes into product and then into retailers. Also on locally.com, each of the retailers, when you've connected your inventory to us and claimed your account, each retailer gets their own dedicated page. So here, for example, on locally.com, we're seeing Bighorn Outdoor Specialists landing page. We mentioned, or I showed you earlier that, there were 3 5-star reviews. That information carries over to their profile. We can see here that in-store pickup is available, same-day local delivery is available. Here we're able to see the various brands that are sold at Bighorn Outdoor. And then here's the catalog of goods which Locally is managing. So in here, a shopper can go in and they can see the inventory that's available and they can shop Bighorn Outfitters from here. I also want to point out that any retailer who has claimed their profile, connected their stock, and enrolled in Buy It Locally accepting transactions has access to using this same catalog information for free as their own solution. So you can embed these pages into your own website as a retailer free of charge, so long as you're enrolled in accepting transactions. So, if you're a retailer who doesn't have a website and you're not enabling, shipping, or you're not interested in shipping products, but you do want to drive shoppers into your store, you can use these. So locally pages indexed by brand, locally pages indexed by a retailer. And then here's how it works when Google crawls it. So I teed up a Google search earlier. I did type in Great Falls, Montana, because again, I'm not in that area, but typically Google would identify the fact that I would be in Great Falls and they wouldn't have to do that. So Shimano derailleur was really the search. And then you'll see here at the top, we have images, Google See What's in Store. You'll see here, we have a map where Bighorn Outfitters is called out, and we can see in stock Shimano bike derailleurs. Part of this is that locally is feeding up into Google, or basically we're designed for Google to crawl us so that they're able to identify that these products are available nearby, and that these stores are participating in these different transaction types. And then you'll see here, when it comes to organic search, we have right at the top of the list, we have locally.com and Bighorn Outfitters. So for retailers who are participating on locally, the beauty of this is that you don't necessarily have to buy the different keywords, AdWords. Locally is indexing your stock for you. Excuse me. So that when a shopper does a local search for a product, unless we've been, bought out in your local area, locally.com is going to show up, very high in the ranking for organic search. And then if a shopper were to click, you'll recognize this page. I showed this to you earlier with Shimano bicycle parts in Bighorn Outdoor. So advantages: connecting your inventory with locally, and the fact that your inventory is being indexed on locally.com also exposes your inventory to Google Shopping searches. And then if you're enrolled in Buy It Locally, you can take the information from that profile page on locally.com and you can use that as your own solution. The other thing I wanted to show you here is what locally looks like on a product page. Different brands integrate locally differently. We showed you store locators a minute ago, or I showed you store locators a minute ago. I wanted you to see a product page too, so you get an understanding of how this can look on a different brand site. Hoka in this case is showing on this product page for this women's, what do we have? Arahai 5. We're looking here, we can see that they have their own direct to consumer, of course, maybe it's a size 5 and they have their add to cart button, but right there on the product page, along with their add to cart, they're showing the nearest retailers who also have that stock available. And so a shopper on this product page has an omni-channel experience at Hoka. If the shopper does not want to add it to cart and they'd rather shop locally, you can see here on the page, Bighorn Outdoor has the product. If you were to click on that, it opens the locally modal. This will call up, just a sec. And then the shopper from inside that modal, if there are color variations or size variations, they're able to shop the different stock from there. Again, same day local delivery, buy now, reserve online. Shopper can click buy now. Same modal opens up on the side and the transaction process goes forward from here. So I'm pointing this out, and I think it's important to note that it's one connection with a seamless shopper experience that renders in a variety of different places. You connect to locally one time, and whether it's from a various brands store locator, whether it's from their product pages, if it's locally.com, if it's you as a retailer using locally solution, using it on your own site, or from a Google search where they discover it. It's the same shopping experience populating in front of shoppers time and time and time again, and that there's no cost to a retailer to participate unless there's an actual transaction confirmed. So pretty quick crash course for everybody on Locally, why you should participate, the benefits of participating, how your store gets ranked in searches, how your store ranks in front of shoppers on brand sites, how you're able to use those tools. And I'm going to turn it over for some Q&A and go from there. So if you hold on just a sec. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for that, Teddy. It looks like we got a couple of questions in here from Bent Up Cycles. And if anybody else wants to add them in, there's like a Q&A option. There's also a chat. So add those in as we go. But Bent Up Cycles asked, how does Locally get the prices? Is the MSRP set by the manufacturer's website, or is it the price the shop has set? So brands send us their MSRPs in their product catalogs when they sign up with Locally. So the default price to show is the MSRP. Retailers have the option to include their own prices in the inventory feed that they send us. And that can be displayed across like locally.com and on Google and stuff, but whether or not it shows up on the brand site's up to the brand. So it's safe to assume that the majority of the time it's going to be the MSRP unless you try to override it. Second question, do we pay the Stripe credit card fee and your 3.5% referral? So yeah, if you're accepting payments that are going through Stripe, Stripe's got their credit card processing fee, that's 2.9%. And that would be on top of Locally's 3.5%. If you want to just do reservations, that's just the 3.5% fee. But yeah, if you're going to get paid through Stripe, they've got that credit card processing fee as well, just like you'd have in your store if the sale happened there at your POS. Lots of places have same day delivery. How are they doing that? I know it's really amazing what Postmates has done. They've got hundreds and hundreds of cities that are covering this. How they've done it, I don't know. But you know, they've got drivers all over in small towns that surprise me every day. So let's see, we got a chat question in here as well. Oh, Bent Up says thank you, no problem. Our fear would be bad inventory numbers and selling products we don't have. Is that particularly worrisome during the current bike craze, and how do you deal with that? Yeah, so inventory discrepancies happen. If your inventory is not perfect, it's not the end of the world. The great thing about the transaction types that Teddy reviewed, you know, BOPIS, ROPIS, same day delivery, is that there's this check and balance in place where, as Teddy mentioned, the shopper's waiting for confirmation from the store before they go into the store to pick it up, before the driver goes to pick up the item. So in the event that your inventory is inaccurate, or you just sold out of the last model or something like that, you have the opportunity as a store to either cancel the order, or better yet, send a message to the shopper and let them know the situation, let them know maybe when you're going to get a new shipment in, or something like that. You know, we understand people are driving 200 miles right now to get a bike. So I think that having your inventory up and opening that door to be able to chat with a shopper is more advantageous than them not seeing anything at all. All right, looks like that's what we've got for now.
Tom, would you like to just run through quickly what the process looks like for claiming your profile and connecting and launch and such?
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Hey, Rochelle, would you be able to make me an admin as well, or a host, so that I could share my screen? Awesome, thank you. All right, y'all. So to get started, let's see. Head over to the link I'm at here is locally.com/go/launch. This is going to have, you know, the 4 or 5 steps that you need to get started. So the first one, as Teddy mentioned, is claiming your account. So we've already got your stores in our system. They've been sent over in dealer lists that our brand partners have provided us. So it's just a matter of letting us know which company is yours. When you go to this link here, it's going to bring you to the new retailer sign up. You can, you know, let's do, I'll do like, if I can type today, locally test retailer, you know, select the store, add your address in, email address. You can include a rep, could be your actual rep's name or it could be mine or anybody else's. Go through this process, you'll get a confirmation email that will give you access to sign in. And then once you sign in, you'll have access to your locally account. So let me see if I can sign in as that test retailer. So this is what the backend to locally looks like. You can see, you know, some basic analytics for your area. What are shoppers, which brands are shoppers looking at, you know, that use locally's tools on their site. And you can manage your store information, which is step 2 over here. So manage and enhance your listing. That's going to include going to your company profile, adding in a logo, you know, letting us know what industries you're in, that kind of stuff, public emails, phone numbers, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. The cool thing about this company profile is that, you know, if you've got multiple stores, you can put in your links here, and those will be used for all of your locations. If you want to do location specific links, you can add those in here as well. And this is where your store hours are going to go in. You can verify your address, all that good stuff. So what you can also do is promote events. So these are going to show up on those store locators that Teddy went through. This is a basic event promoter. So you've got like a title and an image and a body of text. Really simple, but a good way to, you know, if you're doing some kind of fundraiser or promotion, you can do that here. The other thing I want to look at is the relationship manager. So that's going to be like this step here. This is where you can see which brands have authorized your store as a dealer. And what this means is that, you know, if the brand is showing up under authorizations, that means you're showing up on their store locator as a dealer, and that means you can show their inventory across the platform. If you're not showing up, let's say you're not showing up on Shimano's site, but you think you should be, you can type that in here and shoot them a request, which, you know, they'll review. I think it's usually within 24 to 48 hours. You can also download all of our brand partners catalogs, usually a couple seasons back there too. Let's see, we got another question in here. Do you have a link to a short video that captures much of this that I can share with my partners? Things like this, things like being listed on a brand store to buy locally seem really helpful for earning a sale. You're absolutely right, it totally is. We're gonna have this video is recorded, so we could probably get this out. And we also have some other resources that I can send over to Rochelle to be shared with you guys. We have like a 2.5-minute video that would be a good synopsis of this as well. So I can get that over to Rochelle, and Rochelle, if you're able to forward that along after this call, that'd be awesome.
Absolutely.
So next up is your inventory feed. So as Teddy mentioned, we have a connection to a whole bunch of point of sale systems, you know, that you guys might already be using. So like Lightspeed, for example, we have a direct API connection with them. That's really easy to set up. It looks something like, you would just do something like this. So you go to inventory feed setup, you know, point of sale integration, Lightspeed cloud setup, and then it opens up a new window, which you can't see. But the point is, we have a lot of integrations that directly connect your point of sale to locally, whether it's Ascend or Lightspeed or Shopify, et cetera. But if your point of sale system is not listed here, that's okay. You know, we built locally to be kind of agnostic to point of sale systems. So all we need is a report with UPC and quantity on hand. So if your system's not listed, just shoot locally an email at support@locally.com, and we'll help you get this file generated in your point of sale system and synced up with locally. And the goal here is to just have it run automatically in the background, right? So follow the instructions for your POS. If it's not listed, shoot us an email. We'll help you set it up, no problem. You know, we've done this with over 10,000 retailers, from mom and pop bait and tackle shops, you know, all the way up to large big box stores. So there's nobody that we can't integrate with. And then kind of the last thing before we get into like the extended stuff that Teddy was going through is buy it locally. So we have a good FAQ here that runs through all the what ifs, you know, and what if they return it and all this stuff. I'm not going to go through all this text, but what I will do is I'll show you what the setup and configuration looks like from a retailer's perspective. So the first thing you're going to do when you want to set up transactions for store pickup, you know, where people can place orders for pickup from brand sites or Google or locally.com, et cetera, all those things Teddy ran through, is let us know which services you want to do. So if you want to do both, you check this column. If you want to do only payments, only reservations, this panel is to indicate to Locally what you want to do. So if you ever want to switch it off or switch it back on, be sure that you still send us an email to do so. And we'll refer to this panel, you know, as the source of truth for what you want enabled. You'll set up a notification schedule for each store. This is a phone number and an email address. You can have any number of staff members receiving orders, and you'll want to do this for each store. You know, we'll run tests once you're done setting up to make sure these phone numbers are getting text messages and the email addresses are getting those emails, right? Again, you're only receiving these orders during store hours. So you don't have to worry about getting text at 3 in the morning or something like that. You'll still get emails so that you know the order came through. But again, only during store hours, you'll receive these notifications. Next up is billing info. So this is where that 3.5% fee is charged to. It's tallied up at the end of the month. You'll see all those 3.5% fees cumulatively on a statement, you know, that will be sent over to you, or you can access from the billing section here. Again, you know, we only charge you 3.5% on successful orders. So if somebody, you know, returns an order or they don't show up and pick it up, you know, you're not charged on that that sale because it didn't happen. We only want to charge you when you actually make that transaction. Tax rate. This panel is really only relevant to retailers outside of the US. So if you're within the US and Canada, Locally now calculates, collects, and remits sales tax for you. So again, we'll send you a statement at the end of the month, say, hey, we've paid this much sales tax for you already. And you just chop that total amount off of, you know, your sales tax owed at the end of the month. And then Stripe, this is where you connect your Stripe account to get paid. So it's just put in a routing number, account number, and start accepting payments. And when you're done, let us know, fill out this form here, and we'll start running test transactions with you. Let's see, another question from Bent Up Cycles. If using Lightspeed point of sale, will the sale transfer over from Locally to Lightspeed and be recorded? Will Lightspeed then have the customer information that was entered during the purchase? Great question. So with Lightspeed, with almost all of our connections, actually, it's a one-way connection. So we're receiving inventory info from your point of sale system, but Locally isn't actually talking back to yours. So in the event of a purchase, like a delivery or a BOPUS order, you'll still want to ring that up in your point of sale system. And what retailers mostly do is they just create a new tender type and ring it up, you know, call it Stripe or call it Locally and bring it up as that new tender type so you can still remove the purchase from inventory and track the sale and how it happened. As far as the customer information, that'll be available to you from your Buy It Locally order history page. And you can actually export that as a CSV. But we do that. If you use Ascend, there's good news for you is that we are currently beta testing a brand new API integration that will feed that information into your point of sale system, including the shopper information and all that good stuff. And that's really it. That's everything else in this setup. Let's see, setup process. If you want to look at Locally pages, adding your inventory to Google, all the stuff that Teddy covered earlier on the call, Buy It Locally is a prerequisite for that. But you can find setup instructions for all of that here in step 5. And you said, oh, so it seems we have to be careful not to pay sales tax twice. So with, yeah, so I mean, as long as you get, check out that summary that we send you at the end of the month with all of the, remitted sales tax that locally is paid for you, chop that off your total amount owed so that you don't pay it again. With BOPIS orders, you'll be collecting that payment via Stripe. So when you ring it up in the point of sale system, there isn't another sale happening. It's just you logging that it took place.
I can see that there is also a question here from Bent Up Cycles, and they said, are there any plans to moving toward a two-way integration? And I suspect that means, with Lightspeed. We're happy to set up a two-way integration with any point of sale provider, who's willing to do so. Locally does have an API that's available. So anything from, Lightspeed, Celerant, it could be any POS. There is the ability to connect it. That's up to them. Putting my retailer's hat back on for a minute here, it's incredible how much power you guys do have. If you, if you were to ever reach out to Lightspeed, or if NBDA were to reach out to Lightspeed or whomever, and make note of that it's something that you wanted to happen. It's pretty amazing how they do actually respond to you guys. And just to reinforce that, Tom said there is an integration for anyone who's using Ascend. Ascend does have an integration now where it's a two-way communication, and it pushes out directly to them. Sorry, I'm just reading a comment there. But anyway, so Ascend has actually has built it so that the shopper information does push directly there. And I know that Celerant right now is looking at building an integration with us too. So you can look forward to that if that's helpful at all. All right, well, I think we covered a ton of ground here in about 45 minutes or so. And if there aren't any more questions, I'm going to let everybody go about their business, because I know that everyone is busy. And again, I want to point out the fact how grateful we are for the participation that we do have, the partnership that we have with NBDA. I want to remind you of the fact that Locally is comprised of a bunch of retailers ourselves. We do have the experience there, and we understand what you guys go through on a daily basis. And we're always working toward making our tools more user-friendly. So we're all ears. We appreciate the participation, your support. And if you have suggestions on how we can make things, better, easier for you, again, we're happy to listen. So, Rochelle, if there's anything else that you'd like to cover, or going to hand it back?
Yeah, I don't think so. Can you just say the email address if anybody can contact you if they have any questions one more time?
Yeah, that's support@locally.com.
Perfect.
And Teddy, I just wanted to add in there, I'm recalling that we actually recently had a conversation with Lightspeed about a two-way integration. So hopefully that's on the way soon. It's already in the works.
So for those at Bent Up Cycles who have brought it up, bring it up again with Lightspeed.
Mm-hmm. We may need all the help we can get. We'll see. Yeah.
They'll listen to you.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you kindly.
Thank you guys, and thank everyone who is here, and we will talk to you guys later about more partnership opportunities, I hope. Thanks for being here.
Appreciate it. Be well, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.